Hey guys, I'm in Bristol outside of Philadelphia, and I'm in front of a statue of St. Thomas Aquinas, who was a great Western thinker. Screw the naysayers, it's internet gossip. He was a great man. He was a deep thinker. He was ahead of his time, and he bucked the system. An interesting thing happened to me just now. Remember how I was telling you guys I gave up malt liquor, and when I said that, within moments I'd found a little nugget of marijuana, and I rode for hours and hours through the various boroughs of Philadelphia, and it was heavy because it was rich neighborhood, poor neighborhood, and I really liked the Puerto Rican neighborhoods. I felt that those communities were taking a different approach to their sustainability as a marginalized population than, for example, the intergenerational African American community out here. That being said, it was a very instructive trip, because the thing about the privilege was, like, what that means to me is it's being aware, it's not being aware of an advantage that you have and that you are using unconsciously, that you are not mindful or aware that you're exhibiting patterns of institutionalized this or that. So the thing about driving and people in cars, you know, recently I would say cars are asshole machines, but the person in the car is really just doing their own thing. And of course, I'm fighting for a world where we can all do that. So if they're not thoughtful, or if they're mindless at the moment, or they're not present of me, I can't necessarily hold that against them, because I've spent many years in that position myself, and I find myself at many moments becoming shockingly aware of it. So what happened was, I ended up smoking the pot, right? I rode for hours and hours, and I found the perfect spot, and I thought about making a post, and I smoked the weed, and I got up and I bailed, and hours, miles later, I was in Bristol on the verge of New Jersey, and I was at a 7-Eleven talking to a woman who had red, white, and blue hair. And the interesting thing was, her brother just got kicked out of the Army on what we call a PD discharge. It's a personality disorder. You can get these under various conditions. You can get a PD under honorable conditions. You can get a PD under general under honorable conditions. But here's his deal. His particular stressor was that he was a witness at the Fort Hood shooting. He's stationed there at Fort Hood, and he was present when the shooter was acting out on his frustration and his grief. And when the young man attempted to pull his pistol and subdue the gunman, he was stopped. He was prevented from doing that. He called it in, and they said you can't do it, and the guy, pulled his gun out and started chasing the dude, and, he lived to tell the tale. But that being said, they kicked him out of the Army for it. And they said that he had difficulties adjusting with that incident. So while he hadn't seen combat, he did witness service member killing another service member. And he was involved in that, created his trauma. So she and I were talking, and she gave me a $10 7-Eleven card, and I took off, and hours later and miles later, I realized I didn't have my sweater. Now the deal was, in my sweater, I had my money. I had about 12 bucks in there. And the thing that's cool is, like, I lost that sweater with that money in it, and I hope that a homeless person finds it, because it was in a park, it was a nice spot. So I lost it, but I gained a lot more, because I interacted with this woman, and she gave me a $10 gift card, which means I can't just go to the liquor store and blow it on cigarettes or something. I'm keeping it in the back pocket you know, as an emergency thing. But I got down the road and I was like, shit, where's my sweater? Oh no, I have my money in it. And then I started thinking about all this stuff, how the wisdom I've gained was kind of hindsight, because when I first got into Pennsylvania, I was very aggro because of my situational, you know, the condition I was in. And yeah, it's weird. Anyhow, I'm trying to keep these posts short because the Facebook ones are taking forever to load. So, peace. Love you guys.